Hey folks, welcome to Out There MTB. This is a channel all about mountain biking, and hopefully it inspires you to get out there. Today we're going to ride the Schoolhouse Gulch Trail system. This will be the first in a series of videos about this small system here in beautiful Garden Valley, Idaho, about an hour's drive north of Boise. Just a pro tip, you might want to take a picture of this map, especially if you don't have MTBProject, because this is the only map posted in the entire system. All the trails are posted on MTBProject. Today we're going to take the original Schoolhouse Gulch loop, follow my finger there, which is about 1.7 miles. And that's the original loop that was developed when the trail system was first opened up. So I hope you enjoy. All right, let's get the ride started. So this route is generally best ridden clockwise, which means you start up this access road bed here. And the GoPro effect probably doesn't show it too well, but this first 50 yards or so is pretty darn steep. And some beginners and kids might have to push up this, but don't worry, it's only about 50 yards long. And then things get a little more mellow for a while. So just to give you a little background on the Schoolhouse Gulch Trail system, it's all contained within a parcel of BLM owned property here, right on Banks Loman Highway. Unfortunately, it is landlocked all around by private land, but within this 120 acres, we've got a little over 3 miles of trail total. And although there's nothing super gnarly or big bike park style, it is fun to get out and just be in the woods on trails for a while. So you can see here the grade levels out quite a bit for a little while. This road is the only double track in the whole system, and the only reason it's here is because it provides access for the private landowner. They have a key to that gate back there. If you can't tell by looking, soils are very sandy here, which is a great thing when it rains or in the spring when the snow is just melting, because the soils drain very quickly. There's almost no clay, so even when things are pretty wet, you can still ride. The elevation here ranges from about 3,100 feet at the trailhead to about 3,350 or so at the high point of the trails. So for some of you that may be a disappointment. There's no epic climbs or epic descents, but for others that might be a blessing, just because it means you're not suffering for too long going uphill. The season here usually starts in late April, sometimes even toward the 1st of May, before things are all completely clear of snow down in the shady spots. And usually all the way through the month of October. Today is October 17th. And it's a beautiful day actually, and things are still very dry. But just depending on the year, anytime from early November to sometime in early December, we'll get our first significant snow, and from there on it becomes a snowshoe and fat bike trail system. We don't do any grooming here. But last year especially, there were enough snowshoers that several times the snowshoers actually packed the trails well enough to fat bike on. This is the last steep section on this road climb. Not too long. And then just around the corner we hit single track. This initial climb is about half a mile long. You can see there are some signs throughout the system. The BLM provided the signposts, and we as a local club purchased some stickers and tried to provide at least a basic idea of which way is which. So here's the top of the first climb. This section right here is a great place to bring new riders who have never ridden single track before, because as you can see, this is actually an old abandoned logging road bed with a single track stripe down it now. So it feels like single track, but there's not much exposure or really absolutely no technical difficulty, so it's very low risk. But still fun. The sandy soil does have a downside in that it gets pretty loose and it's easily erodible when we do get a hard rain, so just be aware of that. The best conditions here are after a gentle rain has been falling for a day or so, and maybe 12 hours later everything will be nice and tacky without being a sloppy mess. But unfortunately that only happens a few times a year here, because most of our moisture comes down frozen. You can see there's little water bars left over from when this was an old logging road, and in a few places they can be nice little kickers. We'll try that up here around the bend in a moment. Nothing big, but fun nonetheless. Okay, and to take the original loop up here at this next fork, we're going to hang a right. And there it gets a little steeper, and although I would still say a green trail, this might make a few really raw beginners nervous, just because the grade's kind of steep and some of these water bars are a little sharp. All right, we're about to come down to the big creekside junction where actually 4 different routes come together. We're gonna hang a hard right and go down the creek on the old horse trail. Local horseback riding outfitters used to bring their clients up on this trail, but they've since moved on since they lost access to the private land beyond. It's too short of a ride for them, I guess. This trail actually has a little bit of flow, but it's also starting to wash out just a little bit in a few spots, so just watch out for the sandy places. There's a few rocks sticking up. And through the old turkey trap. And here we find ourselves back to the trailhead. All right, folks. Well, that's it for today's ride. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for more episodes with the other trails that take off looping back from the backside of this one. And in the meantime, I hope this video inspired you to go on and get out there.